Today I wanted to share with you the secrets to success as MrBeast himself shared it in an interview. So if you want to learn more on how to become successful on YouTube or in anything else in your life, let's get right into it. Welcome back to this new inspirational video. Today I wanted to go over a few points MrBeast made during an interview through which we can all become more successful, especially as YouTube content creators, because after all, most people want to succeed. They don't want to just have a channel and have it gain no views at all throughout their entire lifetime. So let's learn together what MrBeast actually spoke about in order for us to succeed. And in order to do so, I wanted to play a brief audio clip in his own words of what he shared, and then I'm going to explain it further.
I mean, how to get yourself into that state of mind to really have that much fun doing something so difficult?
Yes, that's where I feel a little weird, because what feels fun to me, to other people frustrates them. Like coming up with ideas, that's something I've always enjoyed. But other people, like, it terrifies them because they never know what does well. But I mean, I don't know, I'm just wired differently. The things I enjoy, most people are frustrated by. Like, I like creating content, I like data, and I like running a business, which are kind of like the three things you need to really scale up big. And most people I see usually only like one of the three. So I feel like it's very rare that someone does all three, if that makes sense.
Now, as you could hear in this audio recording of his, he's talked about creating ideas, always being busy, thinking up new ideas for a video. This is very interesting and important to understand. What are ideas exactly? Well, I'll explain it to you that ideas are products of thought. When you group together multiple thoughts, you create ideas. In other words, you want to think of multiple elements you can inject into your video, which causes you to originate a whole concept, also known as idea for that particular video. And the more you brainstorm together, with other people for example, as he does, the faster and easier it can even become. But regardless, you can do this on your own as well when starting out. And that was also proven by him as well. Each video you make is basically an idea, and as my mentor would say, the more money you make, the more creative you can become. This shows in MrBeast's content, where he gives away thousands of dollars to random people. Unless you're already rich, you might not be able to make videos like that from the start, but what you can do is work on content with whatever you've got right now. That is essentially what he did. If you go to his oldest videos, you'll notice a lot of gaming videos and videos he made what seemed to be from his bedroom. Basically, by making content and building his own audience, initially, he eventually grew to the point he can do what he is doing now, and again, this takes dedication and everlasting persistence to pull it off. It's a matter of experimenting and improving the content you feel inspired to make so that it can actually reach people around the globe. Have you been doing this? Or have you been doubting in yourself or worried whether you can really achieve anything on this platform? Those beliefs have to change around. You have to believe you can do something before you can realize it. To me, it was clear he believed that he could do it. I remembered seeing some of his videos way back in 2015, when he had less than 10,000 subscribers. But he always had that confident attitude to him that showed he didn't worry over whether he could become successful or not. He was simply focused on posting content to his channel with the purpose of reaching more and more people. Another thing about MrBeast is that he stated that he put his whole future happiness on the line. If his channel didn't succeed, he wouldn't be as happy as a person. There's a smart way to go about this and a bad way to go about it. The smart way is that attitude can cause you to become more and more determined and focused on getting results with your channel. But the bad way is once you start letting your current reality fool you into believing you aren't successful, and so you feel worse and worse about your channel's potential. This attitude takes confidence in yourself. It takes belief in yourself. How do you start believing in yourself and that you can succeed on YouTube? By obsessively thinking about how you can instead of why you can't. Most people spend more time thinking of their struggle than about ideas through which they could succeed. Now that is essentially what MrBeast is doing. When he thinks up an idea for a video, do you think he is worried about, oh, will I succeed in life? At this point, I mean, people would probably watch almost anything he posts, but of course he still puts in the effort to come up with great ideas that his audience hopefully likes the most. So his whole mindset is focused on doing something valuable instead of worrying for the most part about whether it will succeed or not. I want you to really think about it because it's such a subtle attitude of mind that really makes the difference between success and failure in life. Most people subconsciously spend more time thinking about why things can't be done or how difficult it will be instead of thinking on how they can succeed. And that's essentially what he did already very early on in his young YouTube career. Again, you can find proof of this if you were to just look at his old content that was uploaded years and years ago, where he was just making content that you can find pretty spread out all over YouTube itself. Gaming videos, just playing games and having commentary among it. I mean, that stuff isn't necessarily unique, but he was building towards an empire for himself. He had that attitude and way of thinking through which he could succeed sooner or later. This is something you can work with for yourself as well. You gotta believe in yourself that you can succeed first and foremost. You gotta convince your subconscious mind that it can be done. The subconscious mind being your emotional mind. Don't make it complicated. Your conscious mind can think and imagine about stuff that you want to realize. Your subconscious mind is your emotional mind, meaning you have to emotionally feel that you can succeed. You have to learn to feel it. You have to ask yourself, how would I feel if I were now successful? And then walk around in that mood, just as if it was true, just as if you're already a success. Because with that attitude, you'll start to generate more and more ideas through which you ultimately will be able to succeed. Now, there's a great book called The Secret of the Ages, and it was written by Robert Collier. Somewhere in that massive book of his, he also stated that creating ideas, creating something, inventing stuff, is what pays off in life. Instead of potentially wasting our time, just letting things be as they are, we should learn to create new and better ideas through which we can share something new with the world. Again, every piece of content on your channel can be like that. If you think about what you're passionate about, all you have to do is think about it long enough and often enough so that you actually develop ideas through which you can express this dream of yours through your YouTube channel. So usually when people in private ask me for some tips on how they can start their YouTube channel, I already made a video on this, but again, you can see the elements of what I shared also in MrBeast's success story, is that you need to have a clear vision of what your channel is going to be about. If you were to go to his older videos, you see it's pretty spread out with different kinds of subjects and styles of videos. So gaming videos and maybe some vlogs about stuff and videos about other successful YouTubers, on and on it went. He was simply experimenting and trying to find a format that could actually reach people to begin with. Have you been experimenting like this for yourself? Because, you know, sometimes people don't have a clear vision of what their channel is going to be about. They worry too much about how they can go viral right away. But it isn't necessarily the most important point. Of course, going viral is awesome. Perhaps I will one day, I have no idea. We can only hope, because honestly I myself don't even know how one gets viral when their channel isn't super huge. But you see, what we do want to do is focus on creating ideas of videos that we can post on our channel that we were passionate about making. And in order to do that, we're going to have to think clearly about how would we want it to look visually. Is it going to be a vlog, or is it going to be digital visuals? Is it going to contain music? Am I going to work with music in order to, you know, carry the story that I'm expressing around? What is the subject of my video? You see, all these little elements ultimately make up the idea for an individual video, as we said at the very start. And that's essentially what he is doing with his own group. Napoleon Hill would call that a mastermind group, being a group of people, of 2 or more people that specifically think about a common goal that they want to achieve. So with him and his group, they would specifically think about making an interesting and cool video for YouTube. And then they start brainstorming, and because they have quite a bit of money available to invest in a video, they can get some wild ideas going. With you, if you're starting out and you're not a multi-millionaire or anything, what you want to do is simply use this idea, but then work with what you got from your current circumstances. So there are video ideas that you can think about through which you can at least start building your own audience. In the end, it's the most important part to reach that first 1,000 subscribers so that you can get monetized on YouTube. And then slowly but surely, as you're monetized, you can start reinvesting what you're making in improving your own content so that one day you'll be successful in your own way. that is all that he did. He openly talks about it all the time, that he reinvested a lot of his money, and even to this day, into his own content in order to make better videos for YouTube. This is another thing that most people don't do necessarily. Perhaps once they see the money, they start to waste it all. But if we're smart about it, we can come up with new ideas on how to expand our content and production quality, and then invest the money we have made so that then we might draw in even more and more viewers. So ultimately, MrBeast's success story is one of experimentation, dedication, and everlasting persistence. Do you have these three elements effective in your own life? If not, start using them. Start living in that manner concerning your own channel. If things don't seem to succeed for you, start experimenting perhaps with different video ideas. If you are sure, 100% sure that what you're doing, you're passionate about the most, then simply learn to experiment with bringing the presentation in different ways. Just keep changing it around until you find a format that sticks with people, that at least draws them in. And then once that happens, success will be yours as well. Now, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.